Yeah, so basically, most of you know, but I'm just doing this for the point of the recording. So we're Shannon and Shimore Farm, Lennox of Lomond. We are in level 2 and have stayed in level 2 from the start. We've been doing agritourism for 50 years, farm tours, self-catering, and a new glamping business, which was due to open in July, but obviously delays and materials and COVID, we ended up opening in September. We're tenanted farm since the 1750s, and I'm now the 11th generation farming here. And we're there's 4 family members working within all the businesses together. So basically having a look at the first part of this is kind of just broke down my occupancy. As I say, we only opened up bookings in August. So the barns actually showed such a high level of interest. All the weekends booked up for October, November and December within the first couple of weeks of opening, which was just incredible. Weekdays filled up for October, and then as we got closer to November, 2 to 3 week kind of midnight stays were coming up, and that for us is a bonus if we can get the weekends covered. But through this time of year, I was just so impressed that we got the weekdays as well, so that was great. We did leave, you can see that it's 70% occupancy, but actually we left a day between every single one of our bookings so that we had time to, COVID cleaning and the hot tub cleaning and things. So actually that accounted for 25%. So basically we were 95% occupied in that time. For us, a usual trend in the winter, folk are usually booking about 1 week to 2 weeks kind of notice when it comes into the winter months sometimes. So we were expecting the bookings to keep coming. If you look on to the next one, which is November, it was shaping up well, again from the end of October, but then we had to begin with the cancellations due to the new restrictions coming in. So as like most of you, go back a slide, sorry, Caroline. Like most of you, it took up a considerable amount of time. Admin time was just a huge amount, and having to work out about cancelling. And we worked at a 3-week kind of forward basis, and then it was every week thereafter, just to try and manage it, because we were hoping that things might change. Obviously, restriction levels happened again, so we went through another blast of cancelling, and obviously England went into lockdown. So I have just taken it that I can't imagine that they were going to be coming out of lockdown. So I have cancelled all English bookings right through to December now, because I would rather have the chance to try and get them booked up than me sitting with a last minute cancellation. It's been a really stressful time for everyone, and ourselves included, trying to obviously do a farm venture as well as doing these. With the initial closures in March, due to the lockdown, I think mental health and kind of well-being for us has been a huge concern. And I have to say I'm really grateful for having the Scottish Agritourism Group and sector to be able to actually talk through the business, the sector itself, and having that inroad to try and get this clarity and decisions so we can run the business as efficiently as we can. So thanks for that. And I have to say that the group itself has been such a positive influence, and it's been a really active group, and it's been disappointing to see that large hotels around us have still been continuing to welcome people from other groups, other levels and areas, when obviously we've been sticking to the rules. So you can see that from the start we were expected to take in about 7,300, and then our income was halved because by the end we've had to have cancellations. And then December again, I think it just noted that the trend of people is just not having the confidence in the sector and not having the confidence to travel anymore. We've had people cancel who are in a level 2 area, chose they just didn't feel comfortable in coming, which is again fair enough. So basically, as was just mentioned earlier, I know level 2 is saying yes, we are open, but basically it feels like all roads are closed to us. So, but we actually won't get any support and help for this. So that's been a real huge pressure. You're trying your best to try and keep open and be positive and put positive messages across, but as I know, a lot of businesses have just shut because it's just not been worth staying open. And the next slide, Caroline, it just shows you the breakdown of, out of the 26 bookings that we had, minimum 2 to 4 night stays, accounting to about £6,000. We refunded that. We had to cancel 18 of those 26. And then from November to December, I've had to not take or recancel 9 bookings that people booked in that were on a level 3 or 4 area, accounting to about £3,000, just over £3,000. So it's like most farms, but ours especially, because we're a hill sheep farm. There's no machinery that can assist us where we are. We are a very physical farm, so we do need all family members to be part of it, but the farm can only sustain one family wage, so that would be my parents. So this diversification is our income to keep us here and feeding the family, and in time, when we get the whole project finished, it will be able to be reinvested back into the farm. And there's loads of things that we want to do that the farm can't afford to do, but with this as a backup, this is going to be a huge lifeline for the future and the sustainability of our business here. So I think that's kind of most of my points, Caroline. I don't know if you've got any questions.
No, it's just, you know, yours is an example of a business that, you know, you have been in business for a long while in agritourism, but you're sort of taking that next step up with the next generation, developing a very new business which just has opened this year, and just being bowled over by the demand for what you've brought to the market, and you know, seeing really high demand for your glamping barns, which was then bringing you in vital income for your family, and then that's obviously stopped. And you know, there are many examples of businesses like yours where the tourism bit is so essential to provide an income for the second generation on the farm. So no, thanks for sharing that with us, Kay.
I think as well, it's a common conversation, isn't it, that the majority of these accommodations that we're providing as individual self-contained units that are much smaller than populated places in towns and cities. So it's been really unfortunate that that hasn't really been taken into consideration, you know, from government. I feel that that's been a real waste, the opportunity there when we're actually very safe and isolated, and for people to come away safely.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Kay, for sharing that with us.